Hey everyone, and welcome to the ROLINC Recruiting Roundup, where we discuss hiring trends, best recruiting practices, and beyond. I'm Jasmine Weber, the Director of Marketing and Executive Recruiting.
I'm Alexis Brady, the Director of Staffing Operations here at ROLINC.
Yes, thank you for joining me today, Alexis.
Yeah,
Super excited to have you. And today
absolutely.
we're going to be discussing the pros and cons and some different ways you can manage multiple recruiting partners. And next time we'll dive into how to handle a single recruiting partner. But today we're going to jump into it with managing more than one. So, Alexis, I'm going to pass it to you to start us off.
Yeah, so managing multiple recruiting vendors can be tricky. There's the more you have, the more crossover there's going to be, right, Jazz? So
Mm-hmm.
basically, I think three is the max that you should have. So we've had some customers that have had as many as 8 to 10 recruiting partners, which just boggles the mind because how many of the same people are you going to get? How many things do you have to manage? It just kind of gets chaotic at some point. So really knowing how to track multiple vendors comes down to your communication and how much you want to track and what kind of ROI you want to see. I would recommend also for tracking and managing multiple recruiting vendors in Excel to basically put in each candidate that comes in, the position they're for, why they weren't a fit, why they were a fit, if they had an interview, if they had an offer, and then if they had an offer, who got converted and hired on permanently. And you can really see the return on your investment for spending time communicating with the staffing company. Really, that'll give you insight into which ones you should focus on, especially if you have more than three. And
Mm-hmm.
kind of hone in on the ones that bring you the biggest ROI, really.
I love that. I think that's great because if you're starting to get up there with eight partners, that's a lot of your time too, and
Yes.
lots of contacts to keep up with, lots of communication that might be getting, lost by the wayside there too. You can probably knock out five of those agencies to
Yep.
make your life
Yes.
easier, still be getting the same amount of candidates. So
Yep.
love that. This kind of goes into what you were just talking about as well as finding specialized expertise based off the multiple partners you're going to have.
Mhm.
I think most likely if you do have multiple partners and you're utilizing them correctly, it's because they do have a specific niche that they're able to help you in. But if they don't, and you've just got five or eight different agencies that are throwing you candidates, odds are you're getting I know we've run into this with clients that have multiple candidates where it's like, oh, the other agency we work with sent us this candidate an hour ago. Or, it becomes a fighting game of who sent this first. And
Yep.
we've already looked at the same candidate 5 times now. So having a more specialized approach, if you're going to bring on multiple partners, is
Mhm.
finding based off of the ROI and who's getting hired and what
Yep.
roles what agency can fit, specific roles.
Yeah, and absolutely, Jasmine, just to add to your point about multiple vendors, everybody has a strength, a primary strength. And so if you see
Mhm.
that with one of your vendors, go that route. They'll probably
Yeah.
be the best one to help you with XYZ. Try them out for other positions as well, because they may be an expert in a position you didn't know about. So what I wanted to also talk about next in regards to multiple staffing vendors, multiple recruiting vendors, is to set a single designated contact for that daily communication with that recruiting team. Here at ROLINC, we have 15-ish recruiters, on 5 different teams, and everybody communicates. And so if you want to get candidates from 15 people, your brain will probably melt. And so really just figuring out, who that main point of contact will be, make sure to keep up with that. It just makes things run a lot smoother, and it'll
Mhm.
keep you more organized, and it'll keep you guys both accountable to make sure that you follow up on candidates in time and things like that. So having a weekly conversation with your staffing partner, that main point of contact at your staffing company, is huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think weekly communication is huge. I do that
Mhm.
often with my clients because it's like even if they aren't with managing multiple partners, these jobs change daily. So having that one point of contact that knows to check in with you is keeping the team updated. I think
Mhm.
that's really great. So yeah, I think we can both agree that there's benefits and some maybe downfalls if you have too many hands in the pot there. But if you're taking the time to manage it correctly and actually integrating each partner into your team, I think
Mhm.
there is a way that you can do it correctly. But I like your thought on three is probably getting up there at like the max that it should
Yeah.
be before we see it start getting kind of sloppy. So
Yes, yes. I
I
do.
love
I
that.
work with, we work with so many companies where two is kind of the magic number. There's not
Mhm.
too much stepping on toes on accident. I would really cap that out at three. And then making sure as well that nobody slips through the cracks, that's
Yeah.
you're getting candidates from a lot of different companies potentially. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes too many candidates is not a good thing.
Yeah.
I appreciate your thoughts on this. And that's actually going to wrap up part one of our discussion. Next week, we will talk more about managing a single recruiting partner. So thanks again. And if anyone has any questions about managing multiple recruiting partners, or you want to reach out to us to be a recruiting resource on skilled trades roles, sales, marketing, executive, you name it, we've got you covered. So feel free to drop us a message and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Jasmine.